Alright there YouTube, welcome back to the channel. Another video on Old Red, our Project 1983 Peterbilt 359. Now today's video is not going to be part of the rebuild series, but kind of its own video. And that's to answer the question of what did it cost to paint this truck? Those of you guys that follow my channel know that I painted this truck myself in my own shop. And a lot of you guys wanted to know what it cost. So I broke that down in a few different ways here that we're going to go over with you here today. I've got what my total out-of-pocket cost was. You know, that's total of every receipt that I purchased for painting this truck when I painted it. Now, with that number, there's some materials I bought in excess of. I bought extra paint. My goal was to have a quart extra paint on both colors. That way, when I put this truck out on the road, if I run over a deer and smash up a fender or something, I've got some paint mixed from the same batch that should be a perfect match to the truck. There's also materials that I already had on hand. I went ahead and I broke this down also into the cost of the actual materials that I used and the exact quantities that I actually used, and then broke that down to an actual cost. Now some of you guys had also asked, well, what would this cost to paint this in a body shop? Now I'm not a professional body man, it's not what I do. I don't run a body shop, so it's kind of hard for me to quote what a body shop would charge to do this, but I did my best to try to figure it out. And I broke it down basically on a time and materials basis. You know, it's going to be kind of a rough number. It's going to be, estimated, but it should kind of give you guys a little bit of an idea of what it cost. Okay, so let's start with the out-of-pocket cost. Now here we've got the out-of-pocket cost. At my paint supplier, this is what I spent. It was $1,604.88. Now this is the paint, the reducers. I got some new organic filter cartridges for my respirator, mixing cups and miscellaneous things like that. Okay, I spent $194 on the paint stripper that I used to strip all the old paint off of this truck. This truck had 3 previous paint jobs on it, and so the material thickness on everything was very thick. So I went ahead and I stripped this all down to bare metal. Okay, so miscellaneous supplies, sandpaper, body filler, masking tape, paper, etc. This was spread out over a few different as well, so I just rounded that out to $160 for a grand total of $1,954.49 is what I paid out of pocket to paint this truck. Then we have the actual cost, all supplies actually used. This includes the stuff that I had on hand, as well as, reducing certain invoices like this one for the amount of material actually used. So the primer, I used about $210 worth in primer. I used about $270 worth in paint stripper, and we just kept the miscellaneous supplies the same. I do have leftover masking tape and whatever, but, let's not get too petty with it. So then we've got the clear coat. I already had the clear coat. The clear coat includes a clear coat, a reducer, and a catalyst, and just rounded that out to $800 for a grand total of $2,413. All right, now on to the auto body shop quote. Now guys, really take this number with a grain of salt, okay? I'm not a professional auto body guy. I don't quote auto body work. This is just my best guesstimate, rough number of what I think this would have cost at a body shop. And I think my numbers that I come up with really kind of come into line with what I'd expect. But yeah, just take this number with a grain of salt. I don't consider myself a professional painter. I'm probably maybe on the advanced level of a hobbyist when it comes to auto body work. Now I'm going to use the same number that I come up with here is what I'm going to use for the materials cost on the auto body quote. Now I'm going to quote 80 hours of labor at $100 per hour. There's pretty much no place around here that will touch anything to do with the large truck for under $100 an hour. Your area may vary, but I'm going to estimate at 80 hours. I had 75 hours into this project from the time that I pulled it in the shop for the first time till the very first time that I pulled it out with paint on the body and basically nothing reassembled. Now I'm going to assume that they're going to do the body work and stuff to the same level that I did in less amount of time. So I'm going to assume that they're going to do the paint and body work quicker because they're professionals. So they're going to get the truck out the door in 80 hours of labor. That comes out to a subtotal or $10,413. And that's just for the paint and body work. Now, on top of that, I did replace these fenders. These are new fenders. The original fenders were pretty messed up. They were pretty rotted out. They were twisted up. They were in bad shape. I also replaced the roof on this truck. The pretty common issue on the 359s, the corners were all rotted out. The roof was in bad shape, so the roof was replaced. I forgot to pull up the invoices for this stuff, but I think the fenders were about $700 with shipping delivered to my door. That could be off a little bit. The roof cap, I got that negotiated in with the deal when I bought the truck. So the previous owner supplied the roof cap. That was a rather time-consuming process. You got to cut all the rivets out, both on the roof and the fenders. Take everything off. These are fiberglass replacements on both, and this roof cap didn't fit very well. I had to do quite a bit of trimming on that. None of the mounting locations for cab lights, fender lights, none of that stuff was pre-drilled on any of this. So that was a rather time-consuming process to replace those. So, I'm gonna, if the body shop's doing that work as well, I would easily an extra $3,000 to $4,000, maybe even $5,000 to replace the roof cap and the fenders. Then I've also got, I've got easily 20 hours into reassembling this truck after the paint job. Polishing a lot of the old parts out. Those are the old headlights that are polished out. The grill surround's polished out. This grill surround took a pretty hard hit in this corner, so I straightened that out the best that I can. I had to rebuild the brackets in behind here that bolt this on here because they were broken, so I had to rebuild those. Polish this out. I've had to do some paint correction on this. Just painting in a workshop, you get some dust and stuff in your paint. So I've done some paint correction on it, and I've easily got another 20 hours into this that, I'm going to assume that a body shop's not going to have. So that kind of brings our grand total up to about $14,000 to $15,000 of what this would cost to paint this truck in a body shop. So anyway, guys, that's what it costs to paint this truck. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope that answered your questions. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. Check out the build videos on this. I try to do fairly detailed videos on everything that I do on this truck, so be sure to check out the other videos on this project. If you're new to the channel, if you're already subscribed, thank you. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe down below. Thank you. Have a great day.